What's going on? Welcome to another Meatless Monday. My name's Cara, and today we'll be making the best garlic vegan Alfredo. That is literally what this is called. It's by the Vegan 8, and I can't wait to try it because the author's husband says that it tastes exactly like the real thing. So we'll be the judge of that. Before we get started, I'm just gonna let you know that I need to boil my cashews because I didn't soak them overnight or for hours, so I'm just gonna boil them for about 10 minutes and this shouldn't affect anything. But if you want to try this and you didn't soak your cashews or you just didn't have time to, here's an easy way to do it. Alright, let's get into it. So all I'm really gonna do is take my cashews, pour them into a small saucepan, cover them with water, and then boil them for about 10 minutes. While the cashews are softening, I thought I'd try something different than last week. Now, I said I'd show you a vegan wine every Meatless Monday, but today I was in the mood for a margarita, and those have lots of calories and sugar, so I was inspired by another YouTuber. Her name's Angie Belmar, and I'll link her channel below. She made a margarita with a bubbly lime flavored water, so I'm gonna show you my take on that right now. I'll be honest with you, I'm not the best at making these, but I've tried it and I think it's really good. It doesn't necessarily taste like a margarita. You can tell that there's no sugar or anything, but I think it gives you the feeling, you know. So here's what I do. By the way, I think most tequilas are already vegan, but if you want to find out for sure if your alcohol is vegan, you just go to Barnivore. It's a website called Barnivore, and you can type in the brand, and not every alcohol is there, but a lot of them are, so it's a good place to start. I'm using Olmeca Altos. It's not the best, but it was cheap, so I got it. Alright, so I'm gonna pour about an ounce. I don't know, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Then I will take juice from half a lime, and I'm just gonna throw that half a lime right in my drink. And then I'm gonna add about half a lime LaCroix in here. And it's bubbly, so you know it's not really like a margarita necessarily, but everything's really cold, so I don't have to add ice. I think it's good. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir. Man, my hands are so weird. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I think it's delicious. It gives you that feeling of a margarita without the guilt. I mean, you could put salt around the rim. I just didn't want that much sodium, especially with what I'm about to eat, but definitely try it, it's good. I'm telling you, good. Okay, back to the recipe. This recipe calls for very specific measurements, and I'm measuring them all to a T, so when you make this yourself, make sure you do the same. While you were gone, we were waiting for the liquid to evaporate from the onions and garlic, and I believe that has happened. Additionally, we have cooked our cashews, and now I'm going to drain and cool them off so that I can prep them for the blender. Personally, I use a Ninja blender, and it's kind of old, so I'm not supposed to put hot things in it. So that's why I cool these off before I put them in the blender. I may not have that problem, but I do, so I cool them off. While we wait for our onions and garlic to cool down a little bit, I'm gonna get the rest of the ingredients into the blender. Alright, so while we're waiting for our onions and garlic to cool down a bit, I'm going to, I guess, blanch some broccoli. I think that's what it's called. I'm just going to steam it for about 30 seconds to a minute, just so it has a nice color and a nice crunch. And I'm gonna add that into my pasta once it's ready. Alright, now that my water's boiling, I'm just gonna throw in my broccoli. for 30 seconds to a minute until it gets a nice color and it'll have a nice crunch in the pasta. So you can see it has this nice color. I don't know if you can see that steam, but it's steaming a lot because there's just some boiling water. But I think it's a blanch. I don't know, I'm gonna call it a blanch. So that's what I'm putting on my pasta once it's ready to go. So now that I have this pot free, I'm gonna start making my pasta. I forgot to put my cashews in the blender, so I'm gonna do that now. I think our onions and garlic have cooled down enough. I just want you to see what they look like. So I'm gonna throw those in the blender as well. Technically our sauce is ready to blend, but it's still kind of steaming, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. While that is cooling down, I also want to add some mushrooms into my pasta, so I'm just gonna cook those with a little bit of broth and probably not any seasoning. So I can show you what I do if you want. Really, I'm just gonna pour a tad bit of this broth into this pan. Heat it up a little bit on medium and throw in, I think this is 8 ounces of mushrooms. Let that cook a bit. And the pasta I'm using today is this Simple Truth Organic fettuccine. I totally thought it was whole grain, but I think I'm mistaken. It should be fine. It's pasta. Something that the author notes, and also seriously listen to it. When you cook your pasta, after the water starts boiling, make sure you add enough salt. Just make sure you flavor your pasta because your sauce will not taste as good if your pasta is bland. All right, we've got our pasta going. Our mushrooms are expelling their liquid, but I think it's about time that we blend our sauce together. Okay, here goes nothing. Well, it looks a little dark. That might have something to do with the fact that I used vegetable stock and not vegetable broth. But at this point, the author says to try it and see if we need to add any more lemon juice or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. I actually think it tastes amazing. It just needs to be blended a little bit more because it's still a little chunky. So back to it. I'm gonna try it again. It's still chunky. I definitely need a Vitamix for this, I think. But for now, we have the Ninja, so we do what we can with what we have. Well guys, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. One more thing I forgot to add, this recipe is completely oil-free, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. Quite a few of the vegan Alfredo sauces that I've seen contain some kind of oil or vegan butter, so I thought this was the best Alfredo recipe that I could find. And I've tried a lot of vegan Alfredos and they don't taste like Alfredo. I don't really know what they taste like. They're good. They're not what you want it to be. Here's what we have. It's the Alfredo sauce with some broccoli, those mushrooms, and a ton of basil on top, sorry. All right, what do you think?
I like it. I actually like it a lot.
Does it taste like the real thing?
It's a little different, but same consistency. Taste is a little bit different, but
really,
you can't really tell the difference.
You think it's the same consistency, really?
I think it is.
I swear it was chunky in the blender.
Nah.
All right, well, I'm gonna try it now. That is very good.
I know.
I don't think it tastes exactly like it. I think it is a little chunky, but a Vitamix would probably fix that. I do taste the nutritional yeast, but the author says to use a specific brand, and I didn't have it. I just had Bragg, so that's what we used, and I don't love the taste of it, but that's all we had. It's really good. It's definitely the best vegan Alfredo that I've tried. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!